I'll go and have a look. Well, it seems like this was a waste of time. Hold your horses. What are you barging in here for?
I'm going to see Sir Ulrich Vavak on a most urgent matter.
As usual. Hurry then!
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again.
Hold your horses. Actually, I have a little...
You've come to...
Call it what you like. I need to get into the city.
The assembly. The one King Sigismund...
Surely you wouldn't deny me a...
Don't try that on me. And tell the...
Well, I just want to climb...
And could you not...
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want...
All right, if I get you into the council, you'll be... And that will be the end of our...
I must have misheard. Our business will be over, so pull your head out your ass and see...
All right, Jesus. You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's is roughly around your age. Although, not everyone would want to give up.
Who's this?
Franta's his name. Franta Cool. Which reminds... Otherwise, he...
What will I need?
Fast feet.
Excuse me?
Do you think you...
Well, no.
Our usual.
Where can I find...
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes, that is, if...
At the what?
That German A...
What would work on him? How can...
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the...
I'll be going then.
Just make sure...
You know... From here, eh? Around here, you need a light after dark. What are you doing wandering about without a light like a thief? Get a torch, or I'll take you in. That's more light. Now on your way. Leave that door alone. You furry beast, get lost, off you go! Greetings to you. Come and buy the finest canvas! We're now open!
Pictures, bye!
God be with you.
I hear one frantic...
Aye, the finest! I spent the best, but it was worth it. With clothes...
As it happens... Would you sell?
For a start. And besides, how would it look if I
want to ask a...
Well, what about...
Can I wait here?
Why not? We all...
So, Master Tate,
City Council
have you got those clothes?
convening soon.
Here they are.
Better get a move
The
on.
best fabric. The finest work. I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons. I'll tell you, you won't get work like that just anywhere.
No more than I'd expect after the amount they cost. But they're first class, I have to admit. Thanks, Schneider. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. Good morning to you.
You must be Frant...
I am.
I'm Henry.
I am.
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine while I run around like a bugger with pictures so that... Why would you want to stick your nose?
I just have to get in there. I have an important message for the king about a plot.
But why would you want to...
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it. So I have to...
I see. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell...
Of course.
All right. Show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you, and think up...
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I had a brand... Here it is. I look like a prick in it. Hopefully it'll sit. The main thing is, don't lose it before the assembly, or get it covered in shit.
Thanks. I won't disgrace.
You better not...
Watch where you're going.
Be glad your head's still attached to your neck.
We've got enough to go around.
Franta, cool down.
Franta's not coming.
He got poisoned. He's writhing in agony. By turns, praying.
Oh, that's enough.
We can't be without a waiter here when the king himself...
So, have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure.
You know a good waiter by his properly seated cap? Without a tunic, you're no royal waiter.
And have you forgotten your hose? You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You don't want to be dragging a load if you...
The royal waiter's livery has strict rules. So get changed quick and come back.
Come and take your pick.
Here I am.
Let's have a look at you.
You know a good waiter by his properly seated cap? And
A tunic? It's a good thing you've got no...
the royal waiter...
The best. Wares on the market. Come and take a look.
Here I am.
Let's have a look. You've got a wait. A tunic? It's a good thing you've got no steel on you.
You need everything as it should be. Do you know what your duties for an inexperienced greenhorn?
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice.
I should certainly help. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner.
In short, behave as if you're not there.
But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine,
You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel.
you take one and go to their table, white to Caid, or...
White or red, by the door to the chapel.
But for Councillor Adam of Zargitz, when he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So we can't allow that to happen in the...
All right?
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with...
Remember...
That too, but more importantly, do not, and in general, a good waiter has to be invisible.
Oh? I thought I had...
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants. Understood?
Absolutely.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social, but you'll manage it.
I know everything I need.
Excellent. Put away your things here.
urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffen
There are the pictures of wine.
joke. And on top of that,
Hopefully
the
I won't
army
splash
was
anyone's
requisitioned
shoes.
from it. Should the town
You there,
reserve have
lad,
worse weapons
a cup
than
of
any
red,
Räuber in the
and
domain?
don't you skimp on me.
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Henning, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Come now,
Handgun.
waiter. I want it
Can you
red.
believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott.
Come now,
It is eine
waiter. I
Schande
want it
when
red.
outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads
shove that
do
damn
not
picture.
realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubricker everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend
I'd like some
yourselves
monastery wine.
with a few
Refill my
rusty
cup, boy.
halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Monastery wine.
Shut
Here.
up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris.
Monastery wine.
Where can we
Here.
get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies.
Sir?
Nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the Yemeni
Well,
state
thank
of
the
our armory.
Lord.
And the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him.
I fancy
He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
Where's
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
Hey, where's my white?
This
I'd
is
like to report to the
unbelievable.
Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't
Another
it the
drop
same
of
thing?
wine. Don't make me beg.
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
We've got two
Be
already.
glad I can hardly
Adamant
sit
about the new
upright.
bathhouse
Otherwise,
at Hopbrink.
I'd
He's
go
out
for
of
that
business.
white
But the
myself.
baths are nice. I hope Adam can keep them running.
Aye.
You want
But it's going to take time to turn it into a decent establishment. You'll also need some money to run them.
Then let him raise the prices. Those who can't afford it should wash in the river. More wine,
It's
Master
in
Bailiff.
the interest of the whole city. The need for cleanliness and citizens' health should not be underestimated.
Nor overestimated. If someone needs to wash, there's a river just a few steps from the city walls.
Certainly. And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and take a... you-know-what.
So what? Going to the baths is neither a
try
civic
harder.
duty nor a
I'll
right.
soon give myself
Have you
away.
forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died
pour me
needlessly.
red wine.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in
Sir?
there.
Keeping the city clean is important. But we don't have
About
money to
time.
spend. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
Come
It's only
here,
a waste
friend.
of time because
And
we're
bring that
always
red with
arguing
you.
about the same thing.
Not at all. If you'd finally
Sir?
admit that it's a trifle, we wouldn't have to keep coming back to it.
A
That's
trifle.
the way.
Do you ever walk
Good
the
lad.
streets here? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense!
Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way. At least until His Majesty honors us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
Horseshit! You know full well, everybody
Monastery
knows.
wine.
He wiped the
Here.
floor with you.
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Me? Compose
Monastery
myself?
wine. Here.
Me? I beg your pardon. I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that's...
Well, thank the Lord.
Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did
I
you?
wanted monastery
That's
wine.
grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true.
Sir?
Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him.
Thank you,
and
waiter.
soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no
You there,
point in
lad.
dwelling on it.
A cup of
Let's
bread.
move on.
I'm
Don't you
sorry,
skimp on me.
Andreas, but I wouldn't brush it off so quickly. Why do I have the feeling you're not telling us the whole truth, Ulrich?
Are you accusing me of lying?
Those are strong words, my friend.
Monastery wine.
Nobody said
Here.
anything like that, did they?
Then why doesn't he tell us what really happened,
Sir?
I'm not keeping anything from you, but there's little truth to the rumors
Well, thank the
circulating
Lord.
around the town. Yes, Rutard and I had a little disagreement, but we ended it quickly because his daughter wanted to get involved. I didn't want to expose the girl to any unpleasant sights.
So Rutard is hiding behind his own daughter's skirts.
As if it wasn't enough that he sent his son to die defending the city.
All right. If we really don't have anything new to say, let's turn the page.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword fighting
I'd
school
like some
brought this
monastery
custom to
wine.
us.
Refill
That
my
German
cup,
Menard
boy.
is just hanging around the market looking for trouble.
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker.
Sir?
You act like you've never been in a fight yourself. And to accuse
Don't
a
hang around me.
swordsmaster
Vanish,
without a
you
shred
hear me?
of proof. We're not some old fishwives in the marketplace.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven
Hey,
offences
boy,
are punished
word.
by the bailiff. And that's that. There are more pressing matters to deal with.
Refill, sir?
More
Do you
pressing
think I
than
come
the
to the
open
council just to
contempt
guzzle
of the
wine?
whole town
Come here.
garrison. The guards are apparently settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing.
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot. I can't just get up and walk out now.
I really should.
A fine servant.
On our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
Another drop of white. Don't make me beg. The cathedral will be standing before you bring me that white. The cathedral will be standing before you bring me that white.
Sir?
Thanks, thanks.
Since there is the eternal dispute over the cathedrals, the building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a oil mining city. Why can't we build faster?
Hey, waiter!
Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a band of parasites. You pay them, they come late, or report sick, and if they do come...
Boy!
Their work is shit, and you have to pay someone else to put it right. It's a waste of time. I tell you, a waste of time.
Adam, don't interrupt the proceedings with
Boy!
your drunken rant.
Where is my white?
Even if you are.
Sir?
Right. And as for you, Enderlin, haven't you noticed there's a
You,
war
lad!
going on?
You look
Are the
familiar.
experts from far off
Have we
supposed to
met?
work in a city
No.
under siege?
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen.
Hey,
that
boy.
space in the side
Full
nave
cup
is
of
mine.
monastery
Then
wine.
hell freezes over, mein Freund. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted to
Waiter,
buy yourself
I
an altar
wanted
in
monastery
the cathedral,
wine.
just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare
Good.
you?
Now run
I
along.
acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Obrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People
Hey,
from the
boy,
old town go
a
to
full
watch
cup of
them brawl.
monastery wine.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do
Come
we
now,
have to
waiter.
discuss
I
next?
wanted red. Come now, waiter. I wanted red.
Sir?
Thank you, waiter.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's going to tackle Rootard.
Azonal Gyurcsák össze! A legjobb katonákat, és kelkinek útra!
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this banner falls!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. See more cheerful precept.
I'd rather be at one than here.
Unpleasant
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my...
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser, and you saved my neck and Henry's too.
None...
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years is...
You know what? Do you know any of the
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers...
Wait a moment.
Yeah. He came with a retinue. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home.
I wouldn't be too sure. But... Who's that friend?
The great Baron Brabant. He's got more fairy tales than my...
Can he be trusted?
He's a blab besides. He defended... If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with...
How does it feel?
What can I say?
And
no fear of that in my case. Wine, women...
What do you plan to do now?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a...
Have you perchance for...
I'll leave that to the older and wiser.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wine, but I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest.
Indeed you should. After all...
Oh, don't start with that.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and
God bless.
God be with you.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians represent... I'm Godwin.
Peace be with you.
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell, and we are both a little... I'm Yehuda, leader of the... and this...
Who would rather not be here at... Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see...
Because we all need to help each other in this time, and why would they not...
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious... The situation in the town. You have men and weapons.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer?
Everything in good time.
Did you come to lend money?
Not to lend, but to give.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money...
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a...
Henry?
You know each other.
That would be him. We did not get off to...
Henry's done a few things I'd like to give him a slap or two for. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead...
Wait, from Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right.
I knew of someone.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel...
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one.
And that was...
Why? You should have taken care of me.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as at least none of it, he took in Henry and raised him as his own. Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him. Just...
A person can't choose their parents.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink.
For that...
Good health.
L'chaim.
Wo liegt das Problem?
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation. almost lost all hope.
Hey, innkeeper, that beer?
My absence from the city.
Greetings to you.
Maybe you can say you were investigating.
Good.
Baron, I am a...
My word.
Mais non!
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. How did you...
Ah, and only lost it narrowly...
That needs some expert...
Oh, misère.
You're quite...
Ah, this Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhand. Do tell me about it. Not...
My last big...
I've heard of this battle.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was not...
Then, what are you doing here?
You say you're a poet. How about a...
Jamais. This poetry, I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood.
Where have you been on your travel?
But of course, if you are interested in... And if you are interested...
And you wouldn't buy any...
Which one do you mean?
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. My great benefit is my strong connect there. Everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected.
And to yours.
I would have expected a bit more. He made an amateur's mistake. By the way, I'm John of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of.
I have my sword. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you...
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's...
It depends.
A little... I expect we can agree that Jobst's... And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support...
Well... I'm curious how you...
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
If Sigismund decides to mount...
But Sigismund's army is demoralized and weak. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves.
But he can't retreat either.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to... For the plan to work, we need allies. Their money and their determination. We just need negotiators who will push...
Are you saying you set everything in...
More like in parallel. If we find support and make it look like the whole...
Why are you doing...
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless, and also because I'm happier with Wenceslas.
I'll help you.
I'll give you 3 names. If you can get those 3 on up. Meanwhile...
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome.
Why me?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to... You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know there aren't many like...
Tell me a bit more about those people.
Certainly.
God be with you, friend.
Bocek of Kunststadt.
That's just the thing. He's got He doesn't play the big game. Because he always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a...
Alder the Alderman.
He still is. The only one who... Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigurd. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on...
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz.
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary... But don't trust appearances. She's got claws.
And what use can she be to us?
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired, and that it was thanks to her.
I'll get on.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over.
Success.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of
Innkeepers, a beer!
Not even. I'd like to check your horses out and see if...
Ha! Even better, but...
And you might not believe your eyes when... Well, we have...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home with...
I want to have a word with old...
Well, I'm having...
I apologize...
For interrupting our conversation?
Is that your...
Unfortunately.
We'll talk later and in private.
Don't try, Mike.
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but... I got him a place at the Archbishop, only it wasn't long before. And then, I find out But he took his boozing and whoring along with him.
Try saying it again a little louder. They might...
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the...
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater.
How?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame you.
Dishonor...
I can't dishonor someone who has no...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults.
I'm not happy. This isn't how I imagined my first meet.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
Look in my eye, not my sword. Swing with your whole arm, not just your wrist.
Hey, who taught you that? That was sneaky. Hey, who taught you that?
Arm lower.
Did they teach you that in the seminary? Hey, who taught you that?
You don't know which end of that thing
That
is
was
up.
sneaky. Oof. Not bad for a priest.
Cover your right side. You've got a gap there I can drive a cart through. What's wrong with your legs?
Enough. That will do.
Greetings.
Greetings to you, friend.
My God, Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer.
I was in a war. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the...
Aye.
So Father would be only he'll never be satisfied.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down.
Not at all. I remember him when I was 6 years old. I fell off. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because...
The first time he took me hunting, he let me...
Only 3 days.
I always wondered who you were.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. But now, I have a chance.
And that's why you want to...
I've got to get him on our side and to...
Aren't we all on the same...
Maybe everyone's saying that.
After you're... Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for
All right, then. It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without...
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an hour...
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to...
I expect Alder's not the... Leave Alder to me. The plan's...
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pardon?
God, what's taking so long?
Push too hard.
Burghers, patricians and usurers. They're without honor.
We're trying to...
Oh, these grand aristocrats. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all went and what my...
But then you'd miss all the grub.
Oh.
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages...
That's one thing you can always count on him. In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you...
It seems Licton...
And how's he gonna do it? Well, the only approach that'll work with Sigismund...
A lot of people think the wealthy... Whether out of fear...
Well, that's to be expected. As long as...
Well...
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estates, not to mention that his son was killed.
That's enough ale for you.
I'd like a beer.
Sir Bocek.
A man hardly puts... Jobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoe.
On the contrary.
Does that improvement include...
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convince... Only in order to get them.
You've got my attention, but not...
How can I...
I need guarantees of security.
Of course.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with... I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the...
My guarantee, if I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty...
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable...
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would...
How about...
He's a young...
What's wrong with him? He's young, he's handsome, and he'll give her... Oh.
And to half the wench. On the other hand, maybe...
I'll convey your offer to...
I don't care what the young lord thinks. If he agrees, I'll be happy to... The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop...
Sir Hanush!
You do?
I've gained...
And who is it? I hope it...
On the contrary.
Couldn't start? Why, how the hell did you...
Well, there's one little catch.
Out with it.
Lord Kunstad has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord...
Hans Capon. Godwin, you can...
Oh, fuck.
I don't so. Young niece, if you're sick, I'll make sure that you...
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa.
Forget it. Soon I'll be... Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself.
Cheers!
Cheers!
Sir Buchek.
So Hanush agreed?
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain.
Thank you.
Enough formality.
Cheers to the...
Here's to a...
Nothing worth it.
How are you getting...
Aside from the happy family...
I'd almost forgotten about that little detail.
Father is...
Keep it up. We've still got a lot of work. Just don't overdo it with the wine. No one takes a walk.
Entschuldigung, ein Bier bitte.
Your Grace.
Certainly.
Godwin.
Ah, now I remember. Forgive me.
Lord Liechtenstein, but if you'll allow me, sir, I'd like to...
Indeed.
Your plan. Sigismund may attack anywhere. You want to wait. Fine. But you should at least give some...
You amuse me, Godwin. I know you mean well. But try to...
I'd reason better with an army.
Do you realize how much such an army costs?
And if a way could be found...
Before that happens, Sigismund will...
Do you still think the lords will agree at the end of the...
That's... Some are persuaded by silver, some by a well-chosen word.
And if none of that...
Such cases usually end in quarrels between former...
John of Liechtenstein...
That was the original agreement.
I understood that...
Yes, he is. Only...
Although, that doesn't have to be about...
He still lacks the but he is persuasive. And...
But...
True. But I certainly never told him... And by doing so, he put both himself...
I wasn't expecting to meet...
Really? Half of Kuttenberg has accumulated debts with usurers. The rabbi knows his... And that Sigismund will not...
So they naturally took a...
What's more, if Wenceslas...
On whose side?
From the entire elite of Kuttenberg. Not that I'm surprised. The king keeps a close eye on them through the city council.
But if Ruthard and all...
We don't need to convince Ruthard.
God be with you. There's something I'd like...
God be with you.
Your diplomat...
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that.
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady.
To muster an army that Margrave...
Christ.
I should say so. All sorts of people have that. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard.
How do you know Liechtenstein?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly, but they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein...
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine.
Then you're in the right place.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. So, To the...
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to...
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty.
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade.
Then I'd be helpful. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good...
Do you have something in particular?
Well, one of the guests here has...
Who's that?
Haman Al... Now, if you were to switch these papers for the one...
And these papers...
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself...
You were dealing with the...
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear.
I'm supposed to rob...
Haman Alda was given the documents. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them.
And the papers I'm supposed...
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones...
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll...
Alda will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the... Bring them to me, and put these there and... But watch yourself. Odorim's groom.
Look at that. A nightingale.
What brings you here?
Master Ishtar to raise a small army. He caused us a shipload of trouble.
I've got those...
Quiet! You don't have...
Milady, with all the here they are. You're welcome.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal.
Thank you, noble lady.
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our...
I'd like to, but I'm...
Wise. No matter, I shall...
Gentlemen,
Is this...
Like I said, miracle... Tell me, Godwin of...
I bring nothing from the House of Odorim.
Both of them.
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink.
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas!
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Sargitz, your insolence just cost you your place on the council and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of inhuman mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anywhere. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities. and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp's nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, Your Majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the Council was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Alderaan won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderyn, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Lord punched us. Mind you, Lord punched us.
Sure. Begging to be eaten. I couldn't I'd like to drink a toast. So touching. Come.
I never.
True.
Oh, maybe once. The older I get, the worse.
See now. Only. Fuck. Well.
His lord.
To hell with that king. I had my eye on him and left the rest of us to drink cheap.
You can bet on it.
I don't. The roast was calling out to me, begging to be eaten.
I'd rather eat well.
Chevalier d'Arezzo.
How would you like
the art of recipes? I might even the French, the king himself.
I expect.
Best, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for. Give me a
I had a wicked thought.
About the girls? Or the piglet?
You just fall in.
I drowned.
So you see?
Iggy too,
Best thing we
Isidora
I still can't wait for that.
Prepare Bill.
Stop shouting.
Strong words.
Begging to be eaten.
I couldn't resist it either.
He won't even know what to do.
Not or yours.
Be quiet.
Expensive horse for a battle. You just need one that can run straight.
Good evening, my esteemed lady.
No matter. Although Martin hardly spoke of you, from what I...
No offense, ma'am.
Indeed. So the stories of how in your youth you used to drag a different chambermaid to your bed every night is nothing but slander?
And I also heard that you once fell drunk into the trench in front of the fortress.
All right, I can...
And is it not true that one of your paramours made off with your late mother's jewelry?
We are all sinners, ma'am. And besides...
Unquestionably. My husband...
Would you kindly introduce your...
This is Lady Christina. Second...
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come you're...
Because he's been rotting for nearly...
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word. Perhaps worldly powers will come to...
What's your opinion of the...
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like everyone here would carry on arguing like... But in the end, it seems the agreement arrived at...
It's rather noisy.
It is, a bit. But that's all part of celebration.
Wouldn't you prefer a little privacy?
Restrain your ardor. You're not the first to try and... If you want to amuse yourself with them, I insist on being present. Or you may be on your...
But I had no way...
And while you're on your way...
Do I look like a servant to you?
No. But surely you wouldn't leave these young ladies to suffer thirst. Be so kind and bring us another pitcher of wine. I don't know what's in those kegs, and I don't...
Good day to you. Yes. Looking at him closely, I reckon he's one of the brass. What kind of name?
Sorry.
From cleaning up...
I need help with something. I mean the ones with the really good...
And you're one of those?
I should say...
Anyway, I don't know nothing about no wine. Try asking my ma. She's the cook.
Greetings.
Sorry.
What do you think? A fortress?
Where might I...
Why?
It's not for me.
Aha. If you go down the cellar stairs, it's Lord Odorin's best. He didn't have to choose me.
Wait.
It's been a... I was afraid you'll forgot.
You haven't...
But I have. Not at all.
And how...
Not really. I also got married. And soon young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometime.
Tell me more...
She's a big girl now.
Well, aren't you worried about her?
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the village.
And your husband...
Cooper, he died.
God grant... Everybody likes a drop of white. The rat'll be good, I hope. Would white be better? God, give me a sign.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Ruthard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
I'll get you. Jesus. They're surrounding Christopher. We can't make it on his own. You nearly knocked this block off.
Come and help me with this.
Nice, strike.
You got him. Hey, I see that hand here. One step back. Stand your ground. He'll kick your
You got him!
Ride those horses out!
Don't spare it!
More coming!
Quick! Gah!
Whoa, whoa.
Gah!
Come here, damn it!
You won't. Get your eyes out! On it!
Quick!
Whoa.
Bad luck. Show your stuff.
Kill him! Fuck you, horse son!
Yo, right up to it!
Ah, you got him!
He knows how to score for it.
You got him!
The next blow will send you to hell.
Let him have it!
That was a little too close. Did my eyes deceive me?
Godwin,
How? Damn. I can't tell you how.
is everyone alright?
Well, some are. They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rotard. They wanted to slay the rest.
What about my father?
They left with Yobs long before that. But
Where did they go?
they've got to raise an army for us.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund.
But, as you can see, our allies are... I'll gladly play dead. Be so kind.
What happened?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those boots. She was simply in the wrong place. And they almost killed my brother. But only almost.
What do you mean, almost?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father. But old grievances aside, Odorin is an... Oh, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchek's a money-grabbing man. We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you. But von Burgov...
You knew he was...
He wanted Odorin. He probably had no idea they'd fight.
I bet he couldn't believe it. And Sigismund will be moving... We have to be really careful now.
You want to give up?
Nobody said anything. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for you. If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth.
The king announced one more thing at the... That is...
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his... The city rabbi is sitting upstairs.
They're our allies.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. Maybe Samuel will figure something out.
He's here too.
Aye, escorting the rabbi. Anyway, we've got... Give me a moment. Guard the walls until morning.
Horrible. So many dead. They drank Lord Odorin. Who knows where?
Good to...
Oh, come on. They could well have... If it hadn't been for you, Henry...
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that.
Well, they killed Lady Anna of Waldstein and many other nobles. And they captured our... Without them, we can hardly get the burghers up.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Get a grip. Whining... You're right. when I... Nevertheless, I have to admit...
Actually, at Sigismund's council...
God's word! We need to get back to the city and war... I'm going with you. Out of the question. You'll be more useful if you stay here and... Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel.
You did.
Sam?
Uh-huh. Just tell him.
What did you talk about?
We talked about your...
Why?
It's true, I did not. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? Well...
What?
Yes. His son.
Are you sure? We look the same age and...
When I was born, he was all... Nothing. Proof perhaps, you know, all my life I thought if I did not... But now that I know, I will never see him.
I'm sorry. This is not the end. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property...
The king has a...
He's no king to me. He's a fuck...
What's a gazette?
That is hard.
Nonsense. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent, and all that with...
This is what we were afraid of. We need to get back into the city. Will you come with us, Henry?
I'll come.
Very well.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund Hort.
Bianca?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, and I see instead of that...
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do... Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course.
Could you stop blabbering already?
Easy, Ingele.
All right. But could you please tell me what...
I'll explain to you on the way.
Are you coming?
Of course.
Let's go.
Peresh, can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to take all my papers and get the people out of there.
Bloody hell. I just got ailed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That droid of Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
We really should pick up the pace.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we get in?
We will go to...
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town.
Won't it collapse?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the best way.
I would be happy.
It has been decided.